Hello, everyone. Miss Debbie here, welcoming you to Bedtime Stories, um, just for you, read by me. And here we have Foxy Loxy. I just love this guy. I hope you have a little guy that you can cuddle up with when you go to bed. Um, and I like Foxy Loxy. I leave him at the library. I don't take him to bed. So, anyway, let's get started. Hello, everybody. How are you? How are you? How are you? Hello, everybody. How are you? How are you today? I hope you had a wonderful day. Um, maybe, um, maybe you went to the park to play, or dropped off at the babysitter's, visited some friends, or spent the day with Nana. At any rate, mommy came back to get you, and now you can be tucked into bed with some good stories and songs and sweet dreams. Sometimes my mommy takes me over to my friend's house to play. Sometimes she's gone a little while, and sometimes she's gone all day. But my mommy comes back, my mommy comes back, my mommy comes back to get me. My mommy comes back, she always comes back, she never would forget me. Very good. Okay, Foxy, we'll see you later. Sit down and listen to some stories. Okay. We like to do thumbkin, give our fingers a little exercise at the end of the day. Ready? Make two fists, put them in your lap. Where is Thumbkin? Where is Thumbkin? Here I am. Here I am. How are you today, sir? Very well, I thank you. Run away. Run away. Where is Pointer? Where is Pointer? Here I am. Here I am. How are you today, sir? Very well, I thank you. Run away. Run away. Where is Tall Lady? Where is Tall Lady? Here I am. Here I am. How are you today, ma'am? Very well, I thank you. Stride away. Stride away. Where is Ring Man? Where is Ring Man? Here I am. Here I am. How are you today, sir? Very well, I thank you. Run away. Run away. Where is Pinky? Where is Pinky? Here I am. Here I am. How are you today, dude? Very well, I thank you. Skip away, skip away. Okay, shake out your hands and your wrists. And oh, that goes really fast. Play the piano. All right, side to side. Play the upside down piano, side to side. Maybe you'll squeeze your hands and your fingers together a little bit. Your hands will be very busy tonight, tucked under your head while you go to sleep for a long time. So, okay, let's start with our stories. Our first story is called Thank You, Thanksgiving by David Milgrim. Thanksgiving is coming up. This is published by Clarion Books in New York. And here you see a family sitting around the table eating Thanksgiving dinner. So there's a turkey on the table. Looks like they're drinking cider, having some spinach. Looks like grapes on the plate, maybe a potato. Well, what can you tell from a cartoon? Thank you, Thanksgiving. Thank you, Mom, for letting me go outside. So in this picture, it looks like Thanksgiving dinner is over. The plates are empty, and Daddy's carrying the plates to the kitchen, and Brother is helping. Thank you, Mommy, for letting me play outside. This Thanksgiving, in this book, there's snow on the ground. Sometimes that happens for us too. And the little girl says, "Thank you, warm boots." And the birds are singing, "Thank you, music. Thank you, singing birds." I like to put birdseed out in the morning, and then I hear the birds singing even now, even as it's getting to be winter. Thank you, pretty clouds. Look at those beautiful pink clouds. They get pink in the morning or in the evening when sun sets. Thank you, pretty clouds. I love to look at the sky. Thank you, rabbits. I haven't seen any rabbits in the snow. I see rabbits sometimes, but not so much in the winter. Thank you, park, with the trees and the squirrels and the snow to walk through. Thank you, park. Thank you, duck. She dropped her scarf and the duck picked it up. Thank you, duck. Thank you, General Store. The store is open today on Thanksgiving, and she is buying whipping cream, carrots, and bread. Sounds like a good plan. Do you like carrots? I love carrots. And I love bread. And of course, whipping cream. Thank you, snow people. Somebody built a snowman family. Do you like to do that? I'm curious. I'd like to do that this year. I hope we get some snow. Thank you, Hill. She's sliding down the hill. It looks like she's on a cardboard box maybe. It's fun to slide down the hill, isn't it? Thank you, thank you. She came back in. Everyone's there. Looks like Nana is there and Daddy. And she comes in from her outing in the park and buying the whipped cream. Thank you, thank you. I'll take a bow. Thank you, mixer. That's an old-fashioned mixer, isn't it? Mommy's making coffee. Pie is on the table. And the little girl is making the whipped cream. Thank you, pie with whipped cream. And there they're having dessert. The grown-ups are having their coffee. And they're all having pumpkin pie or apple pie with whipped cream on top. Thank you, whipped cream. Yum. Thank you, Thanksgiving, for being such a wonderful family day. And after dinner and dessert, they can play and just visit with each other. Oh, Grandpops is starting to fall asleep. They're looking at a family album. And look what they did for the wild animals. Miss Debbie does this. I put out a plate for the spirits. And in the morning, it's gone. The end. Thank you, Thanksgiving. I hope you have a nice Thanksgiving. And just have fun with your cousins if they come over, or with Grandma and Grandpa, just your family. Just a fun day with relatives that you don't see too often. So, okay. Well, tonight we're still into our bedtime stories, so let's get ready for bed. This is the way we wash our face, wash our face, wash our face. This is the way we wash our face before we go to bed. This is the way we brush our teeth, brush our teeth, brush our teeth. This is the way we brush our teeth before we go to bed. This is the way we comb our hair, comb our hair, comb our hair. This is the way we comb our hair before we go to bed. This is the way we blow a kiss, blow a kiss, blow a kiss. This is the way we blow a kiss before we go to bed. Ah. Day is done, gone the sun, from the land, from the hills, from the sky. All is well, safely rest. Sleep is nigh. Sleep is near. I hope you always have an easy time going to sleep. Sometimes, if we've had too busy a day, it's hard to punch down, but sleeping is good. And while we sleep, who watches out for us? Twinkle. Twinkle, Twinkle is the first and brightest star to come up in the sky at night. Guess what? He's still there in the morning watching over us. Starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight. I wish I may, I wish I might have the wish I wish tonight. I'm making a wish. I'm going to make sure it comes true. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Bye, Twinkle. Thanks for watching over us. Oh, there's that word again. Thank you. Thank you for watching over us. And right now, well, he's getting ready to up in the sky. Bye, Twinkle. Should we have Foxy Loxy back for another song? Sure. I love this little guy. Hi, Foxy Loxy. Let's see. Does he talk? Maybe. Maybe. Skidam-a-rink-a-dinky-dink, skidam-a-rinky-doo. I love you. Skidam-a-rink-a-dinky-dink, skidam-a-rinky-doo. I love you. I love you in the morning and in the afternoon. I love you in the evening and underneath the moon. Oh, skidam-a-rink-a-dinky-dink, skidam-a-rinky-doo. I love you. Cha-cha-cha. Good job on the hand signs. All right. Let's do our next book. My favorite Thanksgiving book, A Turkey for Thanksgiving by Eve Bunting, illustrated by Diane DeGroat. Love this book. Classic, classic, classic. Published by Clarion Books, New York. Don't you love pictures of fall things? Acorns, oak leaves, acorns grow on oak trees, and some berries. I'm not sure what kind of berries they are. They grow on those bushes that birds like to eat. And don't you love these kind of Thanksgiving decorations? I haven't seen these in a long time, and I'm going on the hunt. So these are paper doll pilgrims that you put on your table, and a paper turkey that you fan out and put on your table. I love those decorations. They just remind me of being a kid in school and my Thanksgivings when I was a little girl. It was Thanksgiving morning. Mr. Moose helped Mrs. Moose set the Thanksgiving table. Sheep will sit here. He likes a chair that's straight up and down, Mr. Moose said. Rabbit here, porcupine here. Mr. and Mrs. Goat here. He smiled at his wife. Isn't it nice to have friends to share Thanksgiving? Look at how cozy their living area is. They've got some herbs hanging up and Indian corn, and she's putting the decorations on the table, and they're looking forward to their friends coming over for Thanksgiving dinner. Mrs. Moose set 2 paper pilgrims, one at each end of the table. She placed the paper turkey with its great fan of a tail between the candles, and stood back. "They look good, my dear," Mr. Moose said. Mrs. Moose sighed. "Yes, but I wish we had a real turkey. Everyone always has a turkey for Thanksgiving. Everyone but us." Mr. Moose nuzzled Mrs. Moose's head. "Well, that won't do. I will go this minute and find you a turkey for Thanksgiving." Mr. Moose put on his cap and went out. Mist wandered through the bare trees. The cold made his nose water. Rabbit poked his head from under his rabbit hole. "Mr. Moose, is it dinner time?" "Not quite yet. Mrs. Moose wants a turkey. I'm off to find one." Rabbit joined him in 3 quick hops. "I'll come too." So there's Rabbit, and Mr. Moose is off to get your turkey. Moose's warm breath hung in white puffs in front of him. Snow crunched under his hooves and made little holes that Rabbit jumped over. "I see the goats," Rabbit said. Mr. Goat raised his head and spat out the tin can he was chewing. "Is it dinner time?" he called. "Not till I find a turkey," Mr. Moose said. "We saw one down by the river," Mrs. Goat told him, and Mr. Goat added, "A fat one." So there's the goats. Do you think goats really chew tin cans, or is that just a made-up story? I think they like to eat everything, but tin cans, no. The goats leaped down from their perch. "We'll show you." Sheep was farther up the hillside, looking round as a fur ball in his winter coat. "Is it dinner time?" he bellowed. "First I have to find a turkey," Mr. Moose bellowed back. "There's a turkey nest on the river bank," Sheep called. "Wait for me." Did you know that sweaters are made out of sheep wool? In the spring, after the winter, in the winter, the sheep get nice and woolly backs, and in the spring they get like a haircut, like sheared off. And then it goes through a whole process to make wool and yarn and your sweater. Isn't that exciting? The earth smelled of ice and moss as they crunched along. Above them a crow hung, black as a puff of wood smoke. Porcupine was hiding in the underbrush. "It's you," he said, and he put his quills down. "We're off to get a turkey for Mrs. Moose," Mr. Moose explained. "Do you want to come?" "I'm slow," Porcupine said. "Pick me up on your way back." "Who'd want to pick you up?" Sheep asked, and laughed his bleat of a laugh at his own joke. "I'll wait," Porcupine told Mr. Moose. You don't see too many porcupines, right? They saw Turkey's nest right away, and Turkey himself peering over the top of it. "Turkey, Turkey," Mr. Moose called in his sweetest voice. Ugh! Turkey blundered from his nest and ran. Mr. Moose lumbered after him. "Turkey, don't run. We just want you for Thanksgiving dinner." Turkey ran faster. Oh, look, there's Mrs. Moose too. Or is that Mrs. Goat? I can't tell. But there they all are looking. And Turkey, there's Turkey. Oh boy. His signs say, "No turkey here. Do not disturb. Come back after Thanksgiving." Turkey ran. Mr. Moose saw the red and blue sheen of Turkey's neck. Turkey's tail brushed crumbs of snow behind him as he tried to fly. "Too fat," Mr. Goat said. Turkey's legs bent in the middle as he fell. Mr. Moose put a booted hoof on his head and smiled his great toothy smile. "I hope you don't have other plans for Thanksgiving, Turkey." And there he is with his fork. Poor turkey. He helped Turkey up. My wife won't mind that you're too fat, he said. Let's go. It's getting close to dinner time. They marched Turkey in front. I'm sorry about this, for I can see you don't want to come, Mr. Moose said. But I must insist. A promise is a promise. There was a wreath of dried fruit on the moose's door. Inside, the house was filled with Thanksgiving smells. Mr. Moose hid Turkey behind him. Look who I brought, Mrs. Moose, he said. Sheep, the goats, rabbit, and porcupine. And ta-da! He pushed Turkey around in front of him. For you, a Thanksgiving turkey. Mrs. Moose clapped her hooves. I'm so happy to have you, Turkey. Thank you, Mr. Moose. Now everything's perfect. Shall we sit? Sheep asked, heading for the straight up and down chair. Let's, Mrs. Moose pointed. Rabbit here, porcupine here, Mr. and Mrs. Goat here, and look, I brought a chair from the other room in hopes of a turkey. A chair? Turkey stammered. Right next to me, Mrs. Moose said. Light the candles, please, Mr. Moose. There were bowls of acorns and alfalfa sprouts, dried since summer. There was a willow bark and cured grasses and wild parsley. There were pressed leaves, thin and pale as new ice on a pond. I hope you find something here to your liking, Mr. Turkey, Mrs. Moose said. I wasn't sure of your taste. You are so kind to worry about my taste, Turkey said. I thought you'd be worrying about how I'd taste. Heavens, no! Mr. Moose smiled his big-toothed smile and filled everyone's cup with cold spring water. It's so nice to have friends around the table at Thanksgiving. Turkey's waddles wobbled. It's even nicer to be at your table and not on it, he said. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Isn't that a story with a happy ending? Happy Thanksgiving, Turkey. The end. That is one of my favorite books and the favorite for Thanksgiving. I'm just going to take a little sip of water. We have more stories to read. Oh boy, are you sleepy? Are you getting sleepy? If you're sleepy, oh, where's Foxy? Here, Foxy gonna help me sing. Okay. If you're sleepy and you know it, blink your eyes, blink, blink. If you're sleepy and you know it, blink your eyes, blink, blink. If you're sleepy and you know it, you will always show it. If you're sleepy and you know it, blink your eyes, blink, blink. If you're sleepy and you know it, wink one eye, wink, wink. If you're sleepy and you know it, wink one eye, wink, wink. If you're sleepy and you know it, you will always show it. If you're sleepy and you know it, wink one eye, wink, wink. If you're sleepy and you know it, nod your head, nod, nod. If you're sleepy and you know it, nod your head, nod, nod. If you're sleepy and you know it, you will always show it. If you're sleepy and you know it, nod your head, nod, nod. If you're sleepy and you know it, take a deep breath in through your nose and sigh it out. Ooh. If you're sleepy and you know it, take a deep breath. Ah. If you're sleepy and you know it, you will always show it. If you're sleepy and you know it, take a deep breath. Ah. Sometimes that might make you yawn. Oh boy. Ah. Little Tree by Loren Long. By the look of its leaves, it's an oak tree. This is published by Philomel Books, an imprint of Penguin Group, USA. Once there was a little tree filled with little leaves, little green leaves, who was surrounded by other little trees who had little leaves of their own. There are different kinds of trees, you can tell by the leaves. That one looks like maple. Here's a little oak. Maybe beech tree? Maybe, what are those? Sycamore, maybe? I think so. In the heat of long summer days, Little Tree's leaves kept him cool. The squirrels would climb up on his branches to play. The mourning dove landed in him and sang her fluty song. Can you sing the fluty song of a dove? Hoo, hoo. The little tree was sure to grow up big and strong. Autumn arrived and cool winds filled the air. The wind tickled the little tree as it passed through his branches and ruffled his leaves. And you know what happens in the fall, as it's happening now, is that leaves change color. They turn to reds and golds and browns. The air grew cold and the leaves on all of the trees changed the color, becoming red, yellow, and orange. I forgot about orange. Then, one by one, the leaves began to drop. The trees began to drop their leaves. But not Little Tree. He hugged his leaves tight. And oak trees do that. Hello, Little Tree, said a squirrel. You're supposed to drop your leaves now. But Little Tree was unsure. What would he do without his leaves? Winter came. What are you doing with leaves still on you? Asked the deer. Little Tree just hugged his leaves tight. Look at that, a cardinal in the tree. Birds love to sit on bare branches. It's awesome. You'll see it when you look outside. Springtime arrived late the next year, and the little forest burst into life again. The other trees grew bright new leaves. The squirrels played in their branches. The little tree could hear the mourning dove singing her fluty song in another tree. Coo, coo. You can see the other trees have gotten a little taller. The seasons continued to come and go. Little tree, quacked a duckling, your leaves are brown. Are you feeling sick? A fox said, Little tree, it's autumn. It's time for you to drop your leaves. You can do it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. But Little Tree just hugged his leaves tight. All around, the forest grew and grew. One summer, Little Tree could no longer feel the sunlight. The squirrels played high above in the broad, tall trees. And the mourning dove sang so far away that he could hardly hear her fluty song. Coo, coo. Can't even see the mourning dove. Autumn came again, and leaves began to blanket the ground. Little Tree looked up at the other trees, at their branches reaching high into the sky. He remembered when all the trees had been his size. And then he let go. Finally. As his last leaf floated to the ground for the first time, Little Tree felt the harsh cold of winter. But in time, Little Tree grew green leaves and grew taller. And something happened. Once there was a little tree, but now he's as big as the others. Let's see if we can find him. I think that's him with all the squirrels on it. Yep. And that's a very true story about oak trees. They start out little, and all of a sudden, in a couple of years, they're biggest tree in the forest. It's amazing. Oh, it's getting to be time for Lily White's party. Are you ready to snuggle into your clean white sheets and your nicely made bed? Maybe you're there already. Go hippity hop to bed. I'd rather stay up instead. When mother says must, there's nothing but just go hippity hop to bed. One more story. Mushroom Lullaby by Kenneth Kraegel. It's fun to imagine a story like this where mushrooms are little houses. Maybe the wee people live in mushroom houses. This is published by Candlewick Press. Do you see mushrooms growing outside? They don't come in the cold winter, but they do come after a lot of rain. Mushrooms and trees have a very good relationship. This is a mushroom. Do you see the ladybugs? And those are beech leaves underneath. Beech trees and mushrooms have a very good family relationship. This is a mushroom that grows in the park. Look, it's raining. This is a mushroom that glows in the dark. Well, I've never seen one of those. Have you? This is a mushroom growing on a tree. You might see mushrooms on a tree if the tree is dying or getting dead. I have a big oak tree in my yard, and the squirrels moved out of it, and it dropped a lot of acorns, and now I see there's mushrooms growing on the trunk, and the tree man came to trim some branches, and he said, Miss Debbie, the tree's hollow in the middle. It's not a good tree anymore. It has to come down. And this little mushroom is hard to see. He's growing on a tree that's toppled over, and he's red just like some of the autumn leaves around. Here is a mushroom high up in the sky. What is it? On a rock, or are those like big tree stumps? Here is a mushroom that never stays dry. So when it rains, a pool of water collects in that little depression and just keeps leaking out on top of that mushroom. And here is a mushroom made just for you. Oh, time to let your imagination go. Your friends can come too and stay the day to play. The snail is coming, the caterpillar is coming, butterflies, little turtle. And sit in the shade and drink lemonade. Oh, that's nice. Do you like lemonade on a hot summer day? Now, here is your mushroom at the end of the day The sun stretches out and sets far away. Maybe you can see the light coming on through the window of the little mushroom house. You head up your soft mushroom stair and read a book in your big mushroom chair. Well, it looks cozy, doesn't it? The stars have come out and the moon has too, which means your mushroom day at last is through. That's looking at the stars and moon through the window. So climb up into your warm mushroom bed. Let your eyes close as you lay down your head. And now it is time to turn out the light. May you have sweet dreams, a soft rest, and a very good night. That's my wish for you. Are you getting sleepy? Let's row our boat to Dreamland. You ready? Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. So close your eyes, snuggle in, and always remember, you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Good night, sleep tight, sweet dreams, and I'll see you next time.